All right, well, no drama Obama, showing some drama with a request for war powers on ISIS. To Mark Serrano joining us, and Veronica Dagger, Tracy Burns, on if this strategy is right. Democrats, more to the point, Tracy, are not fans. Republicans more inclined to be fans. And I wonder if that's by design. What do you think this is?
I mean, I think the whole thing is fuzzy, Neil. We don't know exactly what's happening. We don't know why he's doing it. He's been fuzzy all along.
But he said no ground troops.
But I think there's room in the language for expansion. I think it's very unclear what they're saying they want to do over there.
What don't you like about it? That we could be giving him a leash to do what?
That we're not, there's nothing concrete in this. There's nothing been concrete coming out of this office ever since we started.
The president is all swagger, no spine. Okay? We started fighting ISIS 6 months ago, and now he delivers a resolution. So clearly this is for purely political reasons. Why wouldn't we have submitted a resolution right as we were starting fighting against ISIS? Because there was an election in between. So now he's introduced it. The concern with it, though, is...
Didn't they have to update this from what was the Afghanistan policy, what was the Iraq policy?
It didn't stop them from fighting ISIS 6 months ago.
But does this give the same wide latitude? Remember that the 2003 Afghan policy did, that many Democrats, others regret that it gave then-President Bush too much power, too much leeway.
You know what? I think the issue with this is this too late at this point?
Right.
You know, are we doing enough, and is it too late? Not to mention, I think a lot of folks in Washington say leave this up to the generals. Let the generals really weigh in on this and decide what we need.
Well, the generals have been the ones saying they could use 10,000 troops, right? Some of them, not all of them. Mm-hmm. General Keane here and others have said that. And I had Lindsey Graham here the other day saying that sounds good to him. But is there the appetite for that? And is the president giving himself cover? I might do this, I might not do this, but essentially buys him time.
Right. And I also think, too, that he has, yes, there's an appetite for this. I think people are done with ISIS. We are done being tortured by these people.
But are we done with putting 10,000 soldiers in there?
You know what?
I don't know we're done with this.
I think we want to be done.
Especially in election season.
We want to be in there? I'm not sure about that.
He's the worst war strategist we have ever seen in the White House. He's signaling to them, this is only for 3 years. So what happens in 3 years and a day? You know, we're not going to have any ground troops. Well, what if we need ground troops? It says we can send special forces in. He can already send special forces in. This is just pure politics. It's so that way he can get away with still claiming that he took troops out of Afghanistan.
You know, they counter there. My context is the White House, including, you know, the gardener and the chief chef.
Right.
They tell me that, you know, all these ones who criticize our war strategy, Osama bin Laden is dead. We've won.
And Al-Qaeda's on the run.
Well,
right? And we took our troops out of Iraq, creating a vacuum.
Who's winning this argument?
That's a really tough argument because there's so many dead journalists. We're having Americans get killed just this week. We're having so much tragedy still happening.
The president says we're making a big deal out of this, that the media is disproportionately assigning to ISIS stuff that we did to the Germans in World War II. Paraphrasing here. Do you agree with that?
I mean, ISIS is a big deal, though. They are threatening Americans. They continue to threaten America and our security, not just over in Iraq,
but what he was saying, I think what he was saying, believe me, I'm just trying to get the doubt here, that you know, the Germans were already killing hundreds of thousands, millions by the time we got involved. ISIS, they've been horrific, but not nearly to that magnitude.
He's having it both ways.
Right.
He didn't have to bring this resolution up for 6 months. He's having it both ways. And so he doesn't want the stain of war on his presidency, and that's why he's presenting it this way.
You're saying that even with this, you know, resolution, whatever you want to call it, you don't think he would commit troops?
This is about limits. He talked about what it doesn't do yesterday. He didn't talk about what it enables our leaders in the field to do. It doesn't enable them.
We have talked time and time again here that the government's real major role, only role, is to protect us. And they're not doing that. So it doesn't matter if 2 journalists were lost or hundreds of Germans were killed. We're talking about people, Americans, that are getting killed, that are being harmed, and we're not doing anything about it. And yet they care more about saving the turtles and all this other crazy stuff. Yes, and climate change.
Right.
This is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to protect us. Go protect us.
And there are a lot of questions around what they did with the intelligence about the hostages that were being held a year ago. That we had intelligence, we should have acted on it, and we waited. The White House waited for 2 months.
We don't know a lot of that, but there's a lot of questions are being raised. But, guys, I want to thank you.